The following is an actual play D&D podcast featuring comedians and improvisers in the great state of Vermont. Welcome to Improvised Weapons. Last time on Improvised Weapons.
Is that the loser?
Does anyone else work here?
This couch is depressed.
Terms are expensive.
Suddenly I feel so bad for kicking down the door.
How much does a door cost?
Don't forget Terry Pete himself.
Is that a euphemism?
And my power is considerable.
Do you have any potions that do cool stuff?
Woo!
Aha! Works every time.
And you're adorable.
Good luck. Think you'll need it.
And then his owl.
And then his owl, chimes in from behind and goes, woo!
Well, you were good, so we're kicking it off with our third cast interview. Here's Nicole to tell you all about our big bad barbarian, Olash Mershux.
Alright, Olash is a half-orc. She is formerly a member of a band that was very, very famous, very popular where she comes from.
What was the name of the band?
Ooh. Very popular band. She's the tambourine player. She's very, very good at it. People loved her. But she felt like the life of fame was, getting to be too much for her, so she left. She also had a lot of pressure from her parents to get into the war game. The tribe she's from, they follow the god of war, and she just wasn't about that. She, she has a tattoo in Elvish that says peace. At least that's what the person tattooing her told her. She's pretty sure that's correct though. And she really she loves nature, and she doesn't want to kill. She's a barbarian, so it's still in her a little bit, but she definitely doesn't want to follow her parents.
When did she, how old was she when she decided to join a band?
She was pretty young. So she was 18, decided to hit the road with her band.
Tell us a little bit more about what she looks like.
She's very tall, 7 feet and a couple inches. Very slender, but muscular, toned. She clearly works out. She has a lot of hair, very thick hair that she takes very good care of. And she wears it up a lot so it doesn't, get messed up when she's fighting or traveling. She spends a lot of time outdoors. So, doesn't want to get a bunch of stuff in there. But she likes to take care of her hair, that's for sure. She has, really nice tusks that she also takes very good care of. It was very important when she was in the band, she was also doing some side modeling, so, had to keep up her physical appearance for that. She brushes her tusks every night. They're pearly, very nice tusks, as far as tusks go. She's been living out in the wilderness for a little while when she went to escape her life of fame, so she's kind of just scavenged together an outfit, but she still manages to look good. She found some pants, or maybe a little too big, but she's making them work, and she has fashioned a shirt into a sports bra style thing. If she were a Spice Girl, she would be Sporty Spice. I'm sure everyone's been wondering.
What is she, equipment-wise? Does she have anything special that she carries with her?
She has her tambourine with her always. She left her life of fame, but she still likes to jam, particularly with her friends now. So she has her tambourine that she keeps with her all the time. Her favorite weapon is her battle axe, and she has a mink stole. Yeah, I know. She is still fancy at heart.
She's a fancy orcish flower child.
She is. She's got a lot. She's complicated.
Does she have other tattoos besides the quote unquote Elvish word for peace?
She does. She has a tattoo on her shoulder that was given to her when she was still in her tribe, which is the symbol of the god of war, which is
circle with a lightning bolt coming through it.
That's not her favorite. She's put some other flowery tattoos around it to kind of lighten it up. She loves nature, like I said, so she's trying to make it more about the nature aspect. You know, lightning's part of nature. That's cool. She just doesn't want to be a war person.
I believe warrior is what that's called. But I like the idea of war person. What else should we know about Olash? Can she read and write?
She doesn't like to talk about it. But she is illiterate, and she would love to learn how to read. It's one of the main things that drew her to Aaeowyn specifically in our campaign. She is hoping that Aaeowyn will be able to teach her how to read, but she's very embarrassed, so she doesn't want to admit that she doesn't know how to read. So she's hoping she'll just kind of pick it up by hanging out with Aaeowyn.
Just trying to like osmose it.
Pretty much.
So she wants to learn to read. What other goals does she have?
Her main goal, though she would never really like admit it to anyone, she did, leave her life of fame. The pressure got to be too much, but she loves the attention, and her ultimate goal would be to, have everyone wondering where she is, what happened to Olash, and she'll have a triumphant comeback, on a big comeback tour.
She just wants to be like the Eagles and have a reunion tour.
Exactly like the Eagles.
Well, it's a nature-based band. I figured she'd be very excited about that. I think the only other thing that we should sort of add about Olash that people may want to know but may not necessarily pick up on is that she's always afraid of being recognized, isn't she?
Yes. She, wherever she goes, if people treat her differently, her first thought isn't because she's a half-orc, it's because people might recognize her from her band, and she doesn't want fans knowing where she is or there to be too much information about what she's doing.
Because that ruins the mystery of the comeback tour.
It does.
That's great. Anything else at all that we should know about Olash?
I don't think so right now.
Okay. What should we know about you?
Me? My name is Nicole. I am a stand-up comedian in Burlington, Vermont. I co-host a show at the Skinny Pancake every Monday called Comedy and Crepes at 8 p.m. And I co-host a monthly show at Foam Brewers called Brews and Bros. That's the second Thursday of every month, although this month it'll be August 30th, which is a Wednesday. So people should come out to those because they're always a lot of fun. And in October, the first weekend in October, I'll be hosting for Rory Scovel at Vermont Comedy Club. So people should come out to that.
Cool. And then you also go around and do comedy besides those three places.
I do. I do stand up all over Burlington, and I try to get down to Boston and up to Maine and other places. So if you follow me on Instagram at Nicole Siskers, I'll post about shows there, and you can find me if you want to.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Last episode, we spent time with Cassian, Aaeowyn, and Olash as they tried to find a way to follow Yarfik through the outhouse portal. After investigating more of the inn and breaking down a door, they decided to see about enlisting the help of the local member of the Order of the Raven's Egg, Hugo Fizweave. Fizweave agreed to help and was able to reopen the portal, allowing the party to go through. That's where we pick up today, so let's hit it and crit it.
So, Yarfik, you've come out of the portal on the other side. You've seen the empty doorways on either side of you. Pallid has beckoned you to follow him as he goes up this staircase that's in front of you.
I grab my tankard as I'm following and say, Aegea, please watch over me and my companions, for we go into battle to save those, but I need you by my side. And I take a sip of nothing and it's okay. the ritual.
So he goes up the staircase in front of you. Looking around, you see that there are other people around. Not a lot, but enough to notice. You walk past what look to be two kiosks of some kind. You're not sure exactly what they are.
I've never seen a kiosk before.
One sells iPhone cases.
But it's a sunglass hut and then a place where you can get your nose pierced.
Yeah. I've never seen two together like this before. Can I get my nose pierced, please?
So walking past them, you go up the stairs behind him, and there is you see that you're on sort of this large large circular walkway. And in the center of the circle, from where you are at the edge of the stairs, it just seems like a big pit. You can't even see down into it. Walking, he sort of peels off to the left, going along with him. You can now see down into it, and you see what is a large sand-filled arena. It's about 20 feet down from where you are, and it's...
Is it octagonal in shape, or
it
just...
is not
Okay.
the octagon. It is a round arena. That's why I said circle.
Octagons are like angled circles.
So walking along behind him...
Circles of the polyhedron world.
Yeah, sure. He keeps going around to the left until he gets sort of around to the other side of where you entered, and he there's a staircase that peels off and goes up from there, and there's a what seems to be a guard standing in front of it.
Before we get there, I'm gonna just look over the railing, kind of like take my time to really take it in, like trying to just like stall for time.
Okay.
Give my compatriots some time to follow me.
So he, as you do that, is going to sort of double back and put his hand on your shoulder and say, do try to keep up.
Well, is this what I'll be performing?
You'll find out soon enough. Come with me.
Well, it's an easy question. I wanted to know. It looks really nice.
It's sandy. Come.
I'm
And
gonna
he sort of
make
like
him move me.
vice grips on your shoulder.
Still gonna make him move me. So I'm rooting. I'm rooting it. I'm gonna stone root. Like dwarves just do not move.
Roll a strength check.
Just straight strength.
Yes.
19.
Okay, so he vice grips on your shoulder and tries to move you along, but you are just like sturdy gripped on the banister.
How did you make that? Like, did you dig this out yourself, or like, is this something that like you had people brought in? Because I've seen dwarven tunneling that's been really good like this before.
Look, I just work here.
And that's why I'm asking you, because you work here. You know, I don't know these things. How was this? This is a beautiful circle of death. It's wonderful.
Why don't I take you to someone who knows? They're just up that staircase that I'm trying to go.
But I'm asking you, Paul. You've been my voice this entire time. You told me to come here and make something of myself. I'd like to know some more. Show me the tour. Give me the 5 gold tour.
I'm trying to.
You're not saying much.
It starts up the stairs.
I say it starts right here in this pit.
Well, you wouldn't know because...
Right, so if you explain where I am, maybe I'll start to come with. I just want to know, how was this built? You give me, like, you know those tour guides that, like, talk incessantly about, like, the architecture of a place that you're walking through?
Look, I understand that you're nervous about the fight.
Oh, no.
But I think it's time to stop stalling and do what you came here to do.
One last stall tactic. As a dwarf, if you know dwarves at all, we are very interested in stone architecture and architecture in general. Just a little tidbit for my own curiosity, please. I'll come with you, I promise. I'll walk right with you.
Fine, I'll tell you something.
Thank you.
All of this stone you see around you is made of rocks.
Well,
you promised.
You did. You did tell me something, and I'm a dwarf of my word, so I'll go with you. And so I'll finally like uproot, but I'm gonna hold just a little bit longer than I should.
Yeah.
Get him a little tick, and
that's fine. So he goes up to the guard in front of the staircase, and the guard.
Who is this guard? Can you tell me what his job is here and what he does?
He's a guard.
Oh!
He guards.
You're doing a good job.
So the guard stands to the side, and Pallid goes up the staircase, and you follow along.
Do you like being a guard?
He does not respond.
What do you he doesn't respond, but he starts looking real introspective.
He doesn't even do that. He is like stone-faced, no response.
3 years later, we're gonna encounter him backpacking. Taiwan.
This is my gap year.
So he goes up the stairs, takes you through a large door that's at the top of the stairs, and you enter into what seems to be some sort of like lavish viewing platform. There are hanging silks, there are large rugs on the ground, large pillows for reclining, very fine furniture, and sitting in a chair is a human man in a rich blue and burgundy robe. He looks to be...
Burgundy. What blue? What kind of blue?
Like a royal blue.
All right.
And he looks to be middle-aged. The chair he's sitting in is much too large for him. Not like it was made for a giant, but just like it's a chair that should have a larger person sitting in it. Yet he still sits in it very smugly and very self-important.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Pallid then sort of stops you before you walk in too far.
I'm still going to take an extra step just to...
And says, Yarfik, I will ask that you walk to the middle in front of the chair and then take a knee.
Of course, of course.
Do you walk into the middle and take a knee?
Which knee should I get on?
Both.
Oh, no, that's for praying. I feel like that's a little too much there. I'm not praying to this man. He's not my goal.
He just looks at you.
Nobody styles like a dwarf.
I'm just trying to be polite. Like, is there a specific knee he likes, or is this...
He literally does not give a shit. He just wants you on a knee.
Oh, no, it's Amy. You said both before. Okay.
See, here's the thing. You think you're clever? You're just annoying. It'll work well in the ring.
I think it's working pretty well right now. All right, and so I'm gonna take my time and kind of take in the ambiance. I'm walking to the center. Do I see anything, or can I get a better view of what's around me, or is it just like a pedestal in the middle?
There's no pedestal. It's just it's like there's a rug in front of him, and he's sitting on a chair.
Then I go up there and I take one knee.
Okay.
And I look. I still make eye contact with him.
That's fine. As you take a knee, Pallid says, I present to you Yarfik Stormhammer, a proud fighter and a combatant of great skill. Yarfik, this is your new patron, the esteemed Dr. Scotch.
Dr. Scotch?
Scotch.
How's that spelled?
S-K-U-T-A. T-C-H.
A doctor?
It's my favorite Bond movie.
Dr. Scotch.
Dr. Scotch then stands. He begins to... he walks forward. He slowly begins to just circle you, sort of looking you up and down.
I stick my butt out just a little bit more.
And he says...
Charm.
Cast friends.
Roll for
and he
It's all
says...
butt magic.
Yeah.
Do you pledge to fight hard? To crush your enemies? To turn them into simpering children before you?
Are they in need of crushing? I ask only, as I told Pallid as I came in, if these people have been doing horrible things to other people, then yes, I pledge that. But if they are innocent, I cannot say per se.
Pallid, what are you bringing me now? I thought you were bringing me someone who is ready to fight.
Oh, I'm ready to fight. Believe me, I am ready to jump right in. I just want to make sure, as Pallid told me in the bar, it was for a good cause.
Pallid's eyes are closed and his fingers are like on the bridge of his nose.
Yeah, Pallid is like hardcore regretting this moment. And he chimes up from over to the side where he was and says, Yarfik, we talked about this. You're fighting for money.
I know.
So is the other person. They're also fighting for money. You're not fighting convicts. You're fighting for money. It's for money.
Oh, no. Pallid, I'm aware. I just like getting a rise out of you. Of course I pledge to do that.
And,
isn't it funny when he does that? And anybody else enjoying this as much as I am?
The only other person there is Dr. Scotch.
I still say it to the open room.
And he says, Pallid, have this one taken downstairs and outfitted. He'll fight tonight, first match.
Awesome! I like to get my feet wet early.
He goes back to his chair and sits, and Pallid sort of beckons you over.
I stand up, I bow, and say, thank you for this chance, and I give him another awkward wink.
Okay, and he waves you away. But not waving to you, he's waving to Pallid as, like, get this guy out of here.
I still wave back.
So Pallid leads you back down the staircase that you had come down, and you actually go back to the room that you had first appeared in, and there is, behind one of the kiosks, there's another staircase that goes down. So he takes you down there, and through a couple of hallways, you emerge in what looks like a locker room. There are some other people sitting in there. There is someone who's sort of behind a desk in the corner where there are some weapon racks, and he asks that you sit on one of the benches. He says, Yarfik, if you would sit down, please. I will be right back. I just need to go talk to this gentleman.
Pallid, you've been nothing but charitable and wonderful, and I appreciate everything you've done for me. Still trying to figure out if that nickname came from somewhere fun.
And he looks at you and says, Yarfik, you've been. And walks away.
I'm going to kind of take the room in as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. So you look around, and there are weapon racks in the back. There are sort of two large, like, stone benches that are just 5-foot squares. There are two people sitting on one. There's one person sitting on the other. And they are not engaged in conversation of any kind. They all look like they're wearing leathers. They're ready for battle, but they are just sort of stoically
In the
sitting.
zone.
Yeah. Pallid comes back over. He's got a man with him that he says, Yarfik, this is our quartermaster. And
I stand and I put my hand out.
and he shakes your hand. That's a good firm handshake. And the quartermaster then holds up his other hand, and he's got this large locking ring, sort of split open. And he says to you, all the fighters wear these. It's enchanted so no one can land a killing blow. It's made to keep you safe.
Oh, that's quite nice of you. You keep your people at least in check enough.
Exactly. So there are runes carved into the outside of it.
I'm gonna try to do an insight check on this, make sure he's not lying to me. That is a 19.
He is not lying, but you feel like there's more to it than just that.
So you've enchanted this to make sure we can't kill each other, correct?
That's correct.
It's beautiful work. So what exactly is going to stop us from doing that? I don't see what the spell could be.
I'm not really the person to ask, to be perfectly honest. The doctor is the one who makes all this.
Oh, the doctor makes it. Okay. Well, I'm just very interested in it because I've never seen something like that before in any type of fight, to be able to save someone right at the last moment. So it's beautiful.
It's essentially a way to, like, we can stop you before, or stop your opponent before they're gonna do.
Oh,
something.
so it's not stopping us, like, just in general, like resurrecting or bringing anything back. It's so that you can use us and just, like, pull us back from it.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, so it's restraining. Interesting. Beautiful work.
So then he lifts it up and he starts going to try and put it around your neck.
Oh, it's around my neck, not around my arm or anything.
No. It's worn around the neck.
Oh, well, all right. And I stretch my neck out. It's a thick dwarf neck, so it doesn't go that far, but I stretch it out just enough.
Okay. He puts it on, and he clicks it around your neck. He locks it, and the runes on the outside of it just briefly flash, and you feel nothing. You don't feel anything. Not that you feel like the absence of feeling.
No. I am now numb from the wind. I've had many benders like this before.
But you don't feel anything. It doesn't affect you in any way that you notice. And Pallid at this point says, okay, we've gotten you ready to be outfitted. The fight won't start for some time, so I'll bring you over to our barracks area. You can take a rest.
They have a nice sauna. You can steam some.
And then we'll come and fetch you when we're ready to.
Of course, I do have one more question, and trust me, it's not that bad. But is there any place that I can get an ale around here? I mean, I fight better with a little bit of alcohol inside me.
And he says, yes, we'll bring you some sustenance.
I appreciate that.
He takes you out of the room, around down a long hallway to a room that's just, like, filled with cots.
I crop dust on the way.
Okay.
Not loud, but I'm just going to do it and just, like, leave a trail behind.
So he gets you to one of the cots. He says he'll send someone over with food and drink for you.
I appreciate it.
So you can take a rest. If you needed to regain any hit points or spell slots or anything, consider them back.
Awesome. That's good.
And your ale skin has been filled. So
Not my tankard? Oh, no, the ale skin.
The ale skin. So we'll leave you there for right now, and we'll cut back over to the rest of the party.
Can I just say how hilarious I find it that it only took us 3 recording sessions to split the party? We are in fine form.
Well, you're coming back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to leave, like, breadcrumbs.
We didn't do it on purpose either.
No, that is true.
I'm leaving breadcrumbs in the form of my farts.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
As long as you're not farting out breadcrumbs.
Yeah. I haven't had a lot of yeast today. It's been fine.
So, Jen, you aren't worried that the cave bats will eat them and disappear your trail?
The cave bats and I have a nice understanding, you know.
Okay.
So some amount of time has passed. You guys have, you've gone and gotten help from Fizzweave. You've all run through the portal. So Cassian, you come through first with your rapier and your shield out. You bust through, and do you say or do anything?
No, I was actually intending to go as stealthily as possible.
So roll for stealth.
18.
So you
20, sorry.
So you land on the other side, cat-like grace. It makes no sound as you land on the other side, and you've got the frosted flake out, and you've got your rapier in the other hand, and
Frosted flake, I forgot
you
about
never forget about the frosted flake. And
It's great.
you're looking around, surveying the room. You see the empty door frames, you see the kiosks. There are some people milling about, and you sort of immediately just sort of like melt back up against one of the door frames. There's less light in this area, so you sort of meld into the shadows around it. And then Olash comes through. What are you doing?
I just went through. I wasn't trying to be stealthy or anything.
So you come through. Are you like battle axe out and ready to go, or are you just like, hey, what's up?
I'm just like, hey, what's up?
Okay. So you come through. You're like still looking behind you from saying you're adorable to Fizzweave. And you sort of walk through, and then you look around, and you're in a big room. There are some other people in there. They definitely see you, because as we've established prior, you are a large presence. You can see the confusion on their faces, and you are immediately like, oh, they recognize me.
Can't run.
So, you like get a little sheepish or whatever. But you don't have much time to be sheepish because about a second later, Aaeowyn comes through and like bumps right into you. Just sort of stumbles through. And you guys are now all in this large room.
Okay.
With these, now the portal has faded behind you, so there's just these 3 empty doorways freestanding. The kiosks are in front of you, and then there's a large staircase leading up.
Okay, and how many people are in here with us?
There's probably about 5 or 6. Not many. There's one person in each of the kiosks. So clearly there's like some business that they're pertaining to there, and there are 4 outside. 3 around one around the other.
Do they look very suspicious of us? Do they look like they think we don't belong here?
The ones that notice you guys are confused. Really, only 2 of them have taken notice. They're just like looking around like they don't entirely know what's going on, but they don't seem worried.
Okay.
I'm going to surreptitiously sheath my rapier, but I'm going to keep my shield at my side just in case anything goes south. Surreptitious.
At this point, you sort of melt out of the shadows. You've come out from behind Olash, and...
Oh my god, where did you come from?
And you see, like, the people that were looking over in your general direction, they see you come out, and then they see, like, the 2 of them, and then you sort of see this moment of, like, recognition on their face, where they kind of have this look of, like, oh, and then they go back to what they were doing.
Of me? They look at me and they...
Yeah.
Okay.
I walk over to one of them, and I say, pardon me, we're here, we're supposed to meet Pallid. We're running a bit late. Did you happen to see where he went?
And it's an older gentleman, probably in like his 50s, who sort of startles when you touch him and turns around and says, and then he sort of like looks at you, and he looks at Aaeowyn, and he looks at you, and he looks back at Aaeowyn, and he to you says, why don't you just talk to me yourself? You don't have to have one of your guards do it.
Yes. Sure. So, get behind me, guard! And then I flick him on the nose.
I say, terribly sorry, ma'am. Get behind her.
So, yes, thank you. I'm trying to meet up with Pallid. Could you just tell me which way he went? I'm sure he went somewhere.
Yes, he went up the staircase to the arena.
Right, the only egress from this room. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Remind me of your name.
How can I we've never met. How can I remind you of my name?
You get the joke I made then. Ta-ta! And then we tally-ho right on out of there.
Okay.
Tally-ho.
What are they selling at this kiosk?
It doesn't look like they're selling anything. It actually looks like they're taking bets.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Many thanks.
I sort of saunter over to the betting kiosk, and I just lean in and I say, Just curious, when's the next fight scheduled? Should I be placing bets now, or what's...
And the person in the kiosk says, the next fight will be in just a couple of hours. You can place bets anytime up until the fight begins.
Who's
Fantastic, thanks.
Can I check the names of the people who are fighting? And then I pull out a list of the missing people and look at it.
The first fight is a new contender. Is a dwarf, I believe, by the name of Yarfik Stormhammer. And he'll be fighting against another dwarf. Her name is Lorstein Glorygem.
Lorstein Glorygem. Thank you very much. Well, we might be back to
God, she's gonna know who I am.
place a few whatevers. Thank you. And then I salute. Let's head out, gods. But yeah, see ya.
Yeah,
And then we walk.
follow her lead.
Yeah.
What's your salute? I just want to know what the salute is.
Yeah. It's like I throw up a piece. I do what looks like a regular military salute that we may recognize here in America, but it's with two fingers in a peace sign, and then it goes into kiss it, peace sign, walk on out of there.
I make the gesture.
You guys don't know it, but that's like a really dirty word in Goblin sign language.
Are any of these people goblins?
No.
Oh, okay. Then we're good. And then we head out. We walk up the stairs.
So you walk up the stairs out onto this large circular viewing platform, and you can see the arena in front of you. It's about a 40-foot diameter circle. It's completely sand covered on the bottom. You see that there's a portcullis on either side, which is most likely where the combatants come from, and the walls are 20 feet high, and you're at the top of the walls where you are.
Okay.
So
there's the door behind us.
There's the door behind you. There's another door all the way across from you. And then up and to the left, there's a large sort of overhang that you can't see quite onto from where you are. You can just sort of see, like, there are some what look to be curtains. You're not really sure.
Is there anyone else in this space with us right now?
There are. There are quite a few people, actually. Various people milling about, inspecting the arena itself. You overhear tidbits of them talking about bets. Go ahead and do a perception check, all of you. Not you. You're asleep.
Am I sleeping?
Yeah.
17.
17.
So Olash and Aaeowyn take a look around, and what they see, and what strikes them specifically about what they see, is that the clientele here is a clientele of wealth. There are no commoners here. The commonest looking people here are you two. Even the other people's, like, guards and retinue are more fancy than you guys are.
Even with my mink stole.
Even with your mink stole. Everyone else is in a lot of finery. And there are, they look to be a lot of, like, merchants, people from other continents. You see some people with sort of like the telltale skin tone and bone structure of Epmark, which is where you're from, actually. And you see other folk from various other places. You see a group of heavily armored people who have this, like, bright yellow symbol of a hammer striking an anvil on their chests. Which is very, very stark against their black armor. There's a group of, like, deep purple hooded folk that are sort of on the other side of the ring from you. And the rest are just sort of various, possibly nobles, possibly merchants. They're rich people. Men, women, various races, but they are all just around.
Well, guys, look at all this. And that's something.
Are there a lot of people with bodyguards here?
It seems like just about every retinue has at least one person who doesn't, like, fit necessarily in. The only ones that don't would be the heavily armored group.
And are there a lot of elves?
Not many. No.
Checking for elves.
So the only other door is the one across from us?
So there's the one across from you, which is another wide open door, very similar to the one that you came through. And then there are small staircases on either side of that large raised platform, each with a guard in front of it.
Okay. I don't know if we should bother a guard right now, but maybe we should head over to the other door, check it out? Or do you think we should... I don't know, that place up there looked important, but it might blow our cover, which I don't even know what our cover is.
My best guess is that elves in this area tend to be wealthy people, and they're making assumptions based on your heritage, or that they know that that's the people who own this place are perhaps elvish.
Possibly.
But I say we assume for the moment that our cover is that we are also wealthy patrons of this establishment.
Great.
And I think we should check out as many places as we can get to without fighting or bribing somebody first.
Okay, yes. Olash?
I agree.
Great. Oh. Shall we make our way to the other door?
Yeah, let's
All right,
talk.
let's go around the circular thingy and then
Okay.
to the other door.
Okay, so you go around the viewing platform to the door on the opposite side. Looking in it, you see very similar to what you saw on the other side in the room you came out of. There on the far end of the room, there are 3 freestanding empty doorways. There are 2 kiosks in there, and there are people in there as well. You even see one person, you see like a portal pop up and a couple of people come out of it, and then the portal dissipate.
Well, I think this is a dead end.
Seems like.
I think we've probably got to go up to that platform.
Yes. Was that platform guarded? I missed that.
It was.
There's a guard at
either
each
side.
staircase.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's head up.
Let's see if we can sort of bluff our way past.
Let's go up. Oh god, I'm gonna have to use charisma.
So we're going to cut back to Yarfik. At this point, Pallid has come over. He's roused you from your sleep and said, "It's time to go. Are you ready?"
As ready as I'll ever be.
So he leads you back down the
About
hallway.
those comps.
Leads you back down the hallway and to that locker room where you had first been there, and he puts you into this sort of like alcove, which you can see is there's a portcullis right on the other side of it. He says, "This is going to be a bare knuckle match.
Okay.
Brutality is encouraged. Remember, you're wearing a collar. Your opponent will be wearing one of those collars. None of you will come to any sort of grievous harm. You will be safe. Winning will qualify you for the next match. And that's really all you need to know. Are you ready?"
I do have a question about losing. Not that I think I'll lose, but what happens to the loser?
Well, you'll probably be unconscious,
Yeah, of course. That does happen bare knuckle.
and we'll deal with that when it happens.
I'm going to insight check him. 13.
So you get kind of a hinky vibe from him, but you don't necessarily think that he's lying. There's definitely more information there.
Of course.
But you're not even sure that it's necessarily sinister. You just know that he's withholding.
Well, I'll say to him then, well, of course I won't have to come to that anyways. We'll be back here in a little bit, and I'll be qualified for the next round.
Excellent. So at this moment, we need to do some map stuff.
Woo!
Changing the map!
Changing the map!
Changing the map!
We're changing up a map!
Map.
That's mildly octagonal.
You're mildly octagonal.
Oh shit, man.
Oh, that's fighting words.
So we're somewhere around here.
We entered through one of these doors.
Right. Okay.
Yes, you entered through the far one right over there.
Okay.
Came up the stairs. That's the large raised viewing platform.
Yes.
Obviously, the circle in the middle is the base of the arena, and then the that sort of ring around it is where you all can
Raised
watch
viewing
from.
platform.
And sorry, where are the stairs to get up here? Or are they just?
They're just on either side of it. Okay.
And is this to scale? Like, are these?
This is the
5
exact
foot
size.
Yes, these are 5 foot squares.
That's not what to scale means. To scale does not mean 1 to 1.
That is a scale.
Sorry, I assumed you were stupid.
I can see how you would make that.
So you guys are up on the viewing platform. Yarfik is over there.
Oh, can we see him?
I'm behind a cage door.
You cannot yet. He's still behind the door
Okay.
of the port office.
Can he see us?
I'm saying a small prayer to Ajia again.
Okay.
That we both make it through this and that my friends are still safe.
So you
I
get...
assume I still have my tankard with me.
Yes, you still have your holy symbol.
Okay.
You don't have your weapons.
Right, of course.
Because they don't want you to use them for this, but...
Oh, I have
Was
my
the-
two... I've got the 2 weapons right here that took a horse down.
The portcullis comes up in front of you, and you enter. So you enter the arena just like a 5 foot step in, and across from you, you see a dwarf enter as well. You feel cool sand beneath your feet. The walls stretch up around you. Through the identical portcullis across from you, you once again you see a female dwarf step out. You look up and around you, and you see the crowd looking down on you. You roll a perception check real quick.
That's 11.
You don't you barely discern anyone in particular. You just see that there's this sea of people ringing around it, like feeding time for the sea lions at the zoo.
Apt metaphor.
Yeah. Before you even have time to finish taking everything in, the doctor begins to speak from his viewing platform. So he's stepped to the edge of the viewing platform.
While he's doing this, I'm just grabbing a handful of sand and kind of rubbing it through my hands.
And we can see him now, right? And as well as hear him?
Yes. The doctor has snapped his fingers, and his throat begins to glow just a little bit. And his voice comes out heavily amplified. And he says, "Welcome, friends. You see before you tonight's first contenders. You have only 5 more minutes to place your bets before the battle will begin."
Should we place bets?
I say loudly, "Now that dwarf down there looks like a man who could punch an animal." Just so that, because I want Yarfik to hear it.
Okay. Roll a perception check again. Let's just see if you catch that.
18.
Yeah, so you hear it.
And as he looks up at me, I throw him a little wink.
Ba-dink! I kind of just take a deep sigh of relief, and then I keep the sand and stuff like that, and then I start to wipe it on my scale mill. It's like taking the ground up for me.
So the crowd at this point, they're looking at both of the fighters. This is the first chance that they've actually had to see both of you, and they're taking in what they can, making their decisions. People are sort of rushing out back to both sides to place bets.
Can I go over to one of the betting kiosks?
Yeah.
What are the odds on Yarfik and the other girl? The other dwarf. The other dwarf.
The guy in the kiosk says, honestly, we don't know too much about this new guy who's starting tonight. So, but the one he's going up against is, she's pretty good. She's won her fair share. So it's 2-to-1 odds.
2-to-1 against the male dwarf.
Yeah, 2-to-1 against the new guy.
I'm having a good day. I'll put some. I'm feeling lucky. I guess I'll put something up against up for on the male dwarf. What was his name? Yarfik.
Let me see. It's Yarfik.
What a stupid name that I've never heard. I've never heard that name before. So I'll put 10 gold pieces on Yarfik.
Okay, 10 gold pieces on Yarfik. Your name?
Lorraine.
Lorraine.
Nice to meet you, Lorraine.
You as well. And then I walk away. Lorraine.
Without the receipt?
Without the... Oh, I need my receipt.
He gives you a receipt.
Great, thank you. And I put it in my hair. And then I... walk back to Cassian and Olash, and I say, I'm going by Lorraine here.
Fair enough.
For now.
I give my opponent a dwarven salute. I have respect.
She returns the salute, and then she looks up and she sees the tattoo, and there's just this spark of recognition. Damn it. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say to Aaeowyn and Olash, I think now is probably the time to try and get up to that viewing platform, and then I have a bit of an idea how to do so.
Sure.
You guys, you as the person pretending to be in charge, will, imperiously stride up to the guards and say, I have an appointment, and then I'll cast a quick minor illusion of sounding like that dude's voice coming down the stairs and telling them to let us through.
Great, let's try it.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Oh, God!
Roll a persuasion check, Aaeowyn.
Me? Okay. Hello, God. I have an appointment.
Ooh.
That was pretty good. 16.
So with a 16, you go up to the guard. He stands there very stoically. What do you say?
Hello. I have an appointment with in this room in a couple minutes. I was invited up, so I'll just head on in then.
He looks at you, and then he steps to the side.
And then I look behind me and give a open mouth
I give a quick. No, I don't.
And then I turn back around and I walk. Come
we
along,
follow.
come along, guards. We walk in.
On your way up the stairs, you hear in that same heavily amplified voice, "We have here 2 fine specimens. Both are strong, both are ready to fight, and both would have looked down on me in the past."
Oh shit!
I kind of quizzically turned. What?
But now I'm the one with the power, and I say fight. And when he says fight, the large ruby ring on his right hand flashes so brightly that it can be seen not only by the combatants in the arena, but also across the viewing platform. You guys don't see it because you're in the staircase, but you do see a flash of red light. And at that moment, Yarfik, just as this spark of recognition comes from the dwarf on the other side of the arena, you see that the collar around her neck goes bright yellow. And the collar around your neck goes bright yellow.
So I'm a little bit.
And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
I think this is my favorite character that we've encountered.
Yeah, Dr. Scutch.
That's an 18.
With an 18, you sort of feel just this like tiniest bit of heat coming from the collar that's around your neck.
Hot under the collar.
And you have these thoughts of I'm about to get in a fight, and oh no, this person has recognized me, and they all just start to sort of bleed away. Like someone is sifting your thoughts, and they're overcome with this word, fight.
Let them fight.
Fight. Fight. Fight. Just building up to this cacophony in your mind.
Pounding my fists together.
And you start looking around almost like a cornered animal, just looking for where you can lash out. And you look across the arena, and this female dwarf, exact same expression on her face, and the two of you lock eyes and start to walk towards each other.
Thanks for listening. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at IWVTcast, and you can check out the other great podcasts from Puma Knife at teampumaknife.com. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you heard us. Help spread the word. Talk to strangers about us. Get all moony-eyed, doodle our name in your trapper keeper with a heart next to it. Do you like us? Check yes or no. Our theme music is Overworld by Kevin MacLeod. You can check out all of his work at incompetech.com. Tune in next time for a knockdown, drag-out, bare-knuckle bash as Yarfik wades into his first Fight Club match and the rest of the party confronts Dr. Scutch, or just chills in a stairwell. Either way, we'll see you on the next episode of Improvised Weapons. This has been a Puma Knife production.